Hi, everyone. As was mentioned, my name is Karolina Cikowska, and I am the co-founder of Girls Code Fun and Kids Code Fun.
My name is Vanai Dam, and Kids Code Fun is our programming school for children and for teens. And we would like to start with a short video of our students, the youngest coders we've ever met.
Okay. We'll just, you guys can read the subtitles.
Can you? Yes.
If I had a good voice, I could do a little background music singing, but I don't, so for your sake, I won't. Yes. They're going to talk about Scratch. Maybe we should just go on with the...
Well, yes, maybe we will try to show that video later. And this was the weirdest presentation of our video ever, and very awkward. But let's just start and...
Okay, so we started our foundation, Girls Code Fun, in January 2015, so just over a year ago. And we started with about 30 female students, and the whole idea behind Girls Code Fun was, as it sounds, we were trying to get more girls involved into coding, because as probably most of you know, there aren't that many women in the world of technology, in the field of technology, so we were trying to interest them in coding and interest them in IT at an early age. So like I said, we started with about 30 female students in Warsaw in January last year. Then we founded the school Kids Code Fun because people were just asking us for programming lessons for their sons as well. And then we started feeling kind of weird, like turning all of the boys away. So we're like, okay, let's start the school Kids Code Fun. And we're really proud to say that since starting all of this and starting Kids Code Fun in September 2015, we've taught about 800 boys and girls and teenagers in Poland. In our lessons, our weekly lessons, but also different conferences and events that we run workshops at. Sorry. And basically we talk to a lot of different parents. We talk to some parents who are programmers. Actually, a lot of programming parents sign their kids up for our classes because they understand how important it is for their kids to learn programming. We also talk to parents who really have no idea what programming is. They just know that it's like the hottest trend now. So they sign their children up for our lessons. And the one thing we've noticed after conversing with these parents for so many hours, with so many different parents, we've learned that there are 4 reasons why your future children will not become programmers.
And the first reason is that they simply go to school. And it's not only that at school they don't really teach how to code, but they do something much worse. They teach your children that every mistake will be punished. So you would better not risk with giving a wrong answer. And another thing that they are teaching your children is that you can't look into your classmates' work. And if you are a programmer, you probably spend a lot of time making mistakes. So if they took $10 of every programmer's salary for every single mistake he or she made in their code, this would not probably be a booming business that it is. And you probably also spend a lot of time looking into someone else's solutions. And that's something that not only programmers do. We all use Google. So your children's school is actually teaching them to work in a way that is opposite of programmers. Another reason why your kid probably won't be a programmer is because you're not a programmer. So it's not only on a list of priorities, it's probably not even the 3rd or 4th in line in terms of importance for you. And a lot of people tell us that we must have hundreds of parents and kids asking about our courses. But outside this IT bubble, for the average parent, sending your kid to a programming school is probably like sending them to Hogwarts. They just don't get the magic of code yet. And if you are a programmer, that's actually another reason why your kid won't be a programmer. We've met a lot of parents who try to teach their kids how to code, and they use tools that are outdated. They use tools that are not fit for children. We met parents who try to teach their kids, and they quickly discourage them, because teaching C++ is not necessarily the most entertaining way to introduce kids to programming. And as a programmer, you think of basic coding as something very simple. So when you see that your child doesn't make quick progress, doesn't understand something, you are surprised and you are disappointed. And kids sense when you are disappointed in them. And the last reason is that she's a girl. Just look around, okay? And it's much more likely that a parent will choose coding class for his son Henry, then he will choose dancing class for his daughter Susie, than the other way around. And if you think that you are different, that you are open-minded, just look at us. My parents are Vietnamese, and they wanted me to speak Vietnamese, but the only language I actually speak fluently is Polish. And Karolina.
And I'm Polish. I was raised in the US. My parents are Polish, but the only language that I actually feel like I speak fluently in is English.
So no matter what you imagine your children to be when they grow up, the society that surrounds them have a massive impact on their future. And the society they are growing up in is the one in which female programmers are the minority. So when you look at these 4 points, it actually doesn't look very optimistic, right, for your children to start to code. But these reasons are the reasons why your kid might become a programmer. Because, for example, he or she goes to school, and there are many teachers who are trying to introduce their students to coding. And you might not even know that your child is already learning how to code, because they don't usually call it programming. They say that they are creating a video clip, or they are making a cat dance around on the screen. So we have students coming to our classes, writing their first code, going back to their parents, and saying that it was great because they played on computers, and that's all. If you are a programmer, you know that coding is a great tool, that it gives so many opportunities, that it's about giving them the chance to become creators of new technologies, instead of being just consumers. And if she's a girl, if you are lucky enough to have a daughter, you know that she's proud, she's ambitious, she can be very patient, and she wants to learn. And if she's 9 years old, and that's a perfect age to start coding, she probably doesn't know yet that girls don't code. So it's all up to you.
And now, in terms of the tools you can use, if you are interested in teaching your future children how to code, or your cousins, or your nephews and your nieces, or whatever, there are so many tools out there now, and they're really growing quickly on the market, or just free online. And we're going to talk about some of them. The first one is an unplugged tool. So it's actually a book called Hello Ruby, and it's written by Linda Lucas, who's also a co-founder of Rails Girls. Basically, Linda wrote an amazing book with amazing magical characters, whose goal is to introduce your children to programming in such a way that makes it seem like not a boring, monotone technical thing, but a really magical world of computers and coding and characters. And it does a really good job at actually teaching kids the basics through storytelling, and including exercises that are really fun, and arts and crafts, and like physical exercises that they could use to help them learn. They also have a great website that includes lesson plans and arts and crafts projects that you can print and use, and it's all free. This one, for example, is Make Your Own Computer. And it's a really great lesson plan for kids who have no idea what a computer is. They just see it as like a laptop that is magic with buttons, and this actually teaches them all of the main parts of a computer, what they are, where they go. It's really fun. The next tool that we highly recommend, does anyone know what this is? It's not Scratch. Scratch Junior. So Scratch Junior is made for really, really young kids. It's created at MIT for really, really young kids, kids who don't even know how to read yet. And as you see, it's actually a program that teaches kids how to create code by building all these blocks together without using any words, so it's very visual. And this is a free app that you could download onto your tablet, so it's a free tool. On their website, you could find free lesson plans as well. And it allows kids to build their own animations using different characters that are already in the app, characters that they could actually create by themselves, backgrounds that are, there's a library of backgrounds, but they could also create and draw their own background. So as some of you know, in Poland, children learn how to use paint in computer science, which is kind of a big waste of time. This has some of those aspects as well, except much, much more. One of the aspects is creating a background, for example, and the rest is building code to make something come alive on that background. So we definitely highly recommend Scratch Junior. But I said it's for really, really young kids who don't even know how to read yet. But we've actually used Scratch Junior in courses with teenagers and adults, and they loved it. This is Scratch. So this is an online platform that is also free. You could find it on their website. It's also created by MIT, but it's also downloadable. You could download an offline version onto your computer. So if there are laptops, there's really no excuse not to be able to use this. You could just download a free version. If you don't have Wi-Fi, you could use it as well. And this is for kids ages 8 and up. It's also very visual, as you see. So you also have like these building blocks of code, and you not only can make animations, really cool music videos and all kinds of things, but you could also build really complex games. Games like Tetris or Pac-Man or Angry Birds. Kids really love Scratch. Some adults love Scratch as well. This is actually the main tool we use to teach kids how to code, and we've found lots of success in using this. We actually are teaching now level 3 Scratch course to kids because we find that it can become so complex, even though it's a tool created for children, that you could use it for semesters in a row. This is another one of our favorites. Does anyone know what these robots are? Yes, Dash and Dot. So Dash and Dot are great robots, very interactive robots that also teach kids how to program. And as you see, they're really cute, and they have really cool features like motion sensors. So I actually have 2 kids, and they're pretty young. They're 5 and 3, and when I first turned these on, they were like shocked because they used to really bother me to get pets, like a dog or a cat. And then I brought Dash home, and all of a sudden they stopped asking me for a pet because you turn Dash on and they don't even know how to program them yet. But they move or they speak, and they actually turn their heads towards you. So it's a really cool interactive tool. As you see, it's made in such a way that it's very girl and boy friendly. And once you have the robots, you can download free applications on your tablet as well. And there are different applications. Some of them are really simple for younger kids that just basically are a controller application for like making the robot move across the room or make a sound or change the color of its eyes or sensors. And then you have like the applications that are much more complex. This is Blockly, so it's very similar to Scratch, and kids actually build code to make the robot do different things. And when you actually have these robots and are leading a group of kids, it could be really fun because you could do all kinds of interactive things. You could make robot musicals because you could record your own voice, so you could have the children record themselves singing a certain song and then make all the robots sing that song at the same time, like a chorus of robots, or you could do different dances or concerts. It's a really great tool. Oh, as you see, they even have a xylophone. So they have a lot of different attachments as well. You could even like clip your smartphone onto its head and have it record things as it moves along the house and play musical instruments, throw throw balls across the room.
And these are our favorite tools, but there are many others that you can search for. And when you teach your kids how to code, remember that it's not only about writing the code and creating a program, but also teaching them how to work in teams, how to be creative, giving them courage to make mistakes, giving them courage to experiment. And the social aspect is very important, because the greatest mistake we do by teaching how to code without any social skills or soft skills. And the other big mistake is teaching kids the social skills and soft skills without coding. These mistakes result in something that we can all relate to. This is what happens when you teach those skills separately. You can't separate being a programmer from soft skills and having social skills, because it's like telling your children to become successful businessmen and businesswomen and teaching them only about the financial part of business, not teaching them how to understand social behavior, how to negotiate, how to work in teams, and not giving them courage to take risks. And the result is that you know any engineering project that end up badly because lack of understanding of social behaviors. This might not be the very best example, but it's fun because it's like the first attempt of 360-degree video. And do you know any coders that are very good, but they make it twice as difficult or unpleasant to finish actually the project because they have very poor communicational skills? And we keep saying that coding is the super skill, it's the superpower. But actually, analytical thinking, creativity, communication skills all combined together and all taught through programming is the universal super skill, something that helps your children's success in the world, no matter if they become a programmer or not. And we, as the IT world, we like to think of ourselves as those who are the innovators, the pioneers, and we think ahead of society. We think out of the box. But if the society that we live in is the box, it's not really about thinking outside the box. It's about understanding it, getting all the skills necessary to succeed in it, and then hacking it with technology.
For the next part of our presentation, we actually wanted to introduce a special guest.
Here she is.
Oh, here she is. I didn't notice you coming in. I'm so happy you're here. This is Anya Domovnik. She's one of our... Round of applause. Anya, can you remind me how old you are?
11 and a half.
11 and a half. Okay, in my head you stayed as 11. She's one of our students from Girls Code Fun, one of our top-notch students, and she's going to show you a project that she created using Scratch in her course.
Is there any volunteer who would like to play a game? I saw someone raising a hand. Please
The
please
guy in the
come
plaid.
here. Anya, can you show us and our volunteer how to play this game?
Can you talk into the microphone?
Yeah. You've got to move the arrow keys to move this. First, you've got to click. Okay. This, yeah. Not it. Yeah. And you've got to move the arrow keys to move the beetle. And he has to go through the road and not get don't hit by a car. And he has to collect as many apples as you can. You've got 20 seconds and it's gonna zero in. Yeah, it's not zeroed again. And now you've got to collect as many apples as you can. It's pretty hard.
Okay, this might take forever.
Yeah.
Anya, can you tell us more about code in the Scratch and show us the code of this game?
Okay, so how
You need to stop
do I-
now.
Thank you to our volunteer.
So coding in Scratch is like joining some blocks together. And if you join the correct blocks in the correct place, the game or the animation is gonna work. And you've got like a library of blocks you can choose from many categories and just take them out and join them. You can choose your own sprites, like the main characters, and your backgrounds. And I really like it that when I join the correct things, it does what I want with the program.
It's a great feeling, right? Thank you, Anya. You're amazing. And on the Scratch platform online, you can now find over 14 million projects, and there are like 11 million users registered and 75 million comments posted. So it's a great tool to use to share and to learn from someone else's code, because you can remix the projects. You can look into someone else's code. You can actually look into Anya's project code and make your own version with maybe new characters. Thank you again, Anya, and thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, we are here to answer them.
Thank you.